Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. Coming up, we look at how young people are finding work in the region, and we catch up with explorer Sir Ranulph Fiennes. And my guests tonight are Michelle Pinder and Michelle Blackford, here to talk to us about a new networking group, GAB, Girls About Business. Welcome to Estuary News. I'm Emma Lingard. Now it's time for the news headlines.
Extra police have been patrolling Pocklington after nearly 100 cars have had their tyres punctured in the town. Humberside Police have now received 99 reports of cars having been intentionally punctured. Most reports happened between Wednesday and Thursday night last week. Officers have a number of lines of inquiry, and a possible suspect has the description of an adult male, slim to medium build, with short dark hair which is balding on top. He may be with a white van. We are now just under 3 weeks away from the grand unveiling of Grimsby Monopoly. So far, the Fishing Heritage Centre, the Dock Tower and the Discovery Centre are all making appearances on the board. It's part of the heritage section of the game, which will see many famous London landmarks being replaced with Grimsby ones. More names and places will be revealed in due course. Do you have any memorabilia from the 80s which you'd fancy seeing centre stage? Well, a new play documenting life in Hull during the 80s is asking for local items to be used as stage props, costumes and plot themes. The play is the brainchild of amateur theatre group The Three Amigos and Friends. If you'd like to donate a prop, storage space or register interest to get involved, then email paul@hull2020champions.org. People in Hull are being urged to donate supplies for refugees trapped in Calais. The Care Calais campaign has been set up in cooperation between local people and bars such as Propaganda. Local residents are being asked to donate anything from food to clothes, which will then be transported by volunteer truck drivers in a convoy to Calais. The organisers explained how the recent images of the refugee crisis have been a catalyst for people wanting to help.
I think it's helped people to understand their plight. Whereas people have a natural assumption that they're immigrants, and that's not the case. They are fleeing atrocities really that you can't even imagine. As a nation, you can't understand what would make somebody leave their own business, leave their families, and leave the country that knows home. I couldn't imagine having to make that decision.
That's all from us for now, and we'll be back with more news soon. If you've got a news story for us, then please email us on news@estuary.tv. Give us a call on Grimsby 31553, or search us on Twitter @EstuaryTV, or search us on Facebook. Bye for now.
Choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life, according to a well-known quote. But how easy is it for young people in our region to pursue their aspirations and find a job in the current economic climate? Erica Barker went to find out what young people face when they're looking for employment.
Many students are now heading off to college or university after celebrating exam success, like those here at Sirius Academy in Hull. But for those choosing to enter the world of work, how easy is it for young people in our region to get a foot on the career ladder? On the South Bank, Employer Engagement Manager for Job Centre Plus in Grimsby, Lorraine Alexander, says opportunities are out there.
We are lucky in this area. There's a lot of retail and there's a lot of leisure facilities. There's a lot of hospitality and catering. Those opportunities will give young people a start.
In Yorkshire and the Humber, 81,900 people are currently out of work, a reduction of 1,100 since June. And according to the Office for National Statistics, there has been a 31% increase when it comes to the number of 18 to 24-year-olds being able to find a job. Although the figures are heading in the right direction, the people we spoke to in Grimsby said the struggle was evident.
At the moment, I've been looking for work, and I've noticed there isn't that many employment opportunities. When I was originally working, I was working at DSV, and it took me quite a while just to get a position because it seems like there are very few opportunities, unfortunately.
I work at the minute, but I found when I was looking for work it was really difficult. Like, I handed CVs out everywhere. I did really well at school, so I had all the grades and things like the work ethic, and it was just really difficult to get a job back. And I know from other people who've said the same, it's really difficult. So especially when you know you've got the qualifications there and people still don't want to call you back. So
there's a lot of jobs going, it's just very hard to get them because there's so many people trying to get the same job. So I can remember once applying for a job and knowing that there was about 1,000, 2,000 people going for the same job.
More jobs are being advertised and applied for online, which can bring its own problems.
It's still a fact that a lot of jobs go through networking. You know, there's a lot of jobs online, and it is an unfortunate fact. You know, not necessarily defending it, but employers can be absolutely inundated with applications, and what they often don't have is a resource to respond to every single one of those. Particularly if it's a lower skilled job, it's obviously going to be very much more popular. But maybe if somebody knocks on the door and has got a big smile and introduces themselves and tells them why face to face they're interested in applying for their job, maybe that's the person that will get that job.
With investment being made on both the North and South Bank, it's hoped a revived economy will help more young people get the job they want. Erica Barker, Estuary TV.
Still to come tonight, we catch up with Sir Ranulph Fiennes on his recent visit to Grimsby for the World Seafood Congress, and we'll also have the latest in local sports news. Now, there are many networking groups, but the latest group offers a fresh approach to business networking. Called Girls About Business, GAB for short, it's been set up in Hull by local businesswomen Michelle Pinder and Michelle Blackford, and they join me now. Welcome both to the studio. First of all, Michelle, you came up with the idea. What is Girls About Business?
Well, basically, it's a networking group that's slightly different. The main point is for girls to have a nice night, coupled with networking and meeting other people. Our unique selling point is our slow networking, which is having a meal and changing between courses.
Right.
So it's a little bit slower than speed networking and a lot faster than a networking meal.
Okay.
So that's our unique, and we're trying to come up with. We're hoping the girls that are joining us will start to inspire different directions for something that is kind of reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
To come up with something that's more dynamic than that's gone before.
Okay. Now, Michelle, you were inspired to join this, weren't you? Because you met Michelle when you went into her salon. Why did you think this was a great idea? What did you see in it to want to join in?
Well, for me, it's been 9 years in business by myself, and I know the importance of working with other people, having someone to bounce off. 20 heads are better than one, that type of thing. And as soon as Michelle mentioned the idea, I thought I could use my event management skills to actually help and put it together.
Yeah.
And for me, it was, just being able to, do the public speaking and push my comfort zone and learn things as well.
Yeah.
And we do incorporate lots of guest speakers. They're really taking a lot of tools home to implement into their business, as well as having a lovely evening.
Because there were many business networking, going around the region, very male dominated. So in the way this is, that you offer something slightly different for who may find it uncomfortable being with a room full of men. Would you say? What's the feedback you've had?
Well, the thing is, most of the networking I've done, I've come away thinking, well, I didn't really get much from that, or you felt kind of not part of it. Mm-hmm. And one of the main things I wanted with GAB was I used to hostess in a nightclub years ago, and I love making people feel happy and smiling at people, and that was one of the main things of getting this business, so people enjoyed coming, and then we could build on what we're going to do in the future. As I say, we're on our third one on the 22nd of September. We've got a long way to go with store cards and membership cards. The tongue-in-cheek side of it is the Man from Uncle kind of GAB logo and the silhouettes of powerful businesswomen.
Yeah.
That's the fun side of it. But it's, with everything, you've got to have something that sticks in people's minds. And GAB, I thought, was all girls like a good GAB.
Well, that's quite true, isn't it? Very true. Now, you talking about the women that have come, feedback so far, have they been enjoying themselves?
Yeah, the feedback's been amazing. We've got the Facebook page, Girls About Business, and the next morning they're all commenting, you know, they're feeling motivated, inspired, but they've met friends as well that are in. We're all from different sectors.
We had we've got as well, didn't we?
Yeah, we had the mayor. But we've got accountants, you know, beauticians, nurses, like just all different people from different backgrounds, and they're all learning from each other.
So talking about Girls About Business Hull, but it's not just for people in Hull, is it? Are you open to anybody within the East Yorkshire, Lincolnshire region?
It's all of Yorkshire. We're hoping to go into Leeds and York eventually. We've got to get Hull going, and we've got to have a product that we can place in the other, because somebody else would be running that in the other towns, and we'd maybe just go along as the founder members. Yeah. So it's as I've been saying to people, it's embryotic at this point.
Yes, it is.
It can grow into whatever the members want it to be.
Okay. And just quickly, because we're nearly out of time, you meet once a month. Next one's September the 22nd. And where do you meet?
The next one's at Kodama. Yeah. At 6:30 to start for 7.
Okay.
If you can get there a bit early, you can start networking.
Okay. And so people just need to turn up.
And it's a 3-course mezzi meal.
Yeah.
And you move in between each course.
Brilliant. Well, thank you both for coming in, and good luck for that. Thank you. Right, join me after the break when we meet Sir Ranulph Fiennes, and we'll also meet my next guest, John Hewitt. Welcome back. You're watching Estuary News. Still to come, we catch up with Sir Ranulph Fiennes, who was here as the keynote speaker at the World Seafood Congress. And we'll have the latest local sports news. Joining me in the studio is John Hewitt, director and writer of the new production, Darling, Have You Seen My Structural Surveys? John, welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
New production, which has been performed in Louth. Yeah. What is it about?
It's set in an estate agency based in London, but it's quite non-specific, and it's contemporary, and it's basically about a small boutique agency made of about 4 individuals, and it's a guy called Adam Knightley, who's joint partner, and he shares the office with his fiancée, Felicity Sharp, and they just get a new secretary. And all the past secretaries have been females, but the latest one is a male. And Adam has to kind of train him up on the, shall we say, extracurricular activities, which happen at the office. And then the action act 2 moves to this showroom, which Adam had made into kind of his bachelor pad, so to speak. And it all comes around him, and yes.
Where did you, I mean, you wrote this, where did you get the inspiration from?
So I love the Carry On films. Love the Carry On films. I love writers like Ray Cooney, Michael Frayn, Alan Ayckbourn. Masters of farce, and I really just wanted to write a kind of doors banging, bedroom hopping, kind of mistaken identity comedy. And I realised that in the current climate, farce isn't too popular. It's having a revival, so to speak. But so as a writer, I just kind of wanted to do the challenge, really.
That's quite true. You say people don't seem to do farces anymore.
No, they were very popular in the 50s, 60s, 70s. They've kind of gone away again. But if you look to the West End now, The Lady Killers has been in town. Noises Off has come back. One Man, Two Governors is the classic example. So it's kind of having a comeback, and theatres follow on from what's in the West End. So hopefully it'll start doing the rounds again.
Big revival, won't it?
Hope so.
You're in rehearsal.
Yes.
How is it going?
Amazing. I mean, I'm bound to say that, aren't I? But I'm very lucky. So we had auditions in June, I think it was, and I've got a cast. It's only a small cast of 5, but they're all excellent, professional, ex-professional. They're fantastic, and they just really want to do the script justice. So all the time they're searching for notes, they're trying to improve, and I'll be very honest with you, they just need an audience now, really. It's fine. So the rehearsal at the minute is just a bit of a laugh, if I'm honest.
That's it.
And the set's coming in. Yeah, the set's coming in, the props are coming in, light and sound. You know, it's a big. There's a creative team of about 30 people working on it just for this little show.
See that talking to some, people from the Caxtons and other theatre companies, there's such a lot of backstage people, isn't there, to get these productions.
And most people don't actually realise exactly how much time and effort and creativity and skill it takes to put on a show, regardless if it's on for one night or 6 months, whatever. It's the same amount of time that goes into preparation, so it's wonderful.
And are they all volunteers?
Yeah, absolutely. All of them are volunteers. All of them are volunteers. It's heartwarming. It's great because it works as a society mainly, and so it is just an extra thing to do in the evenings. But they're fantastic.
so many of these people, you know, we come and talk to, and it's about trying to keep afloat. Do you know, how is it going in Louth? Is there do people turn up and watch the productions?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a very active society. They do a region of about 10 plays themselves, and there's touring companies, comedians, that kind of thing. So it's a very high activity.
It's a lot, isn't it?
For a little market town,
it is,
it's wonderful. And they've got 2 spaces there, so we do 6 nights, and you know the Friday and Saturday are almost selling out anyway, which is nice, great stuff. But we just want to get some extra seats in. Word of mouth helps as well, so we're looking forward to it. It deserves full house. I'm bound to say that, but it does deserve full houses.
It deserves it.
It does.
So just remind us, when can we see this?
Yes, it's Monday the 14th to Saturday the 19th September, so next week, 7:30 nightly, and tickets are available online at louthplaygoers.com, or you can call the box office on 01507 600 350. And I've said that an awful lot.
I was going to say, you did very well. Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
And good luck.
Thank you.
Explorer Sir Ranulph Fiennes paid a visit to Grimsby last night to talk to delegates at the World Seafood Congress. He's no stranger to the area, as his sister lives in Driffield. We sent Richard Morris to meet him.
What is your most memorable moment of everything that you've done?
I think 2 really. One was when we, after 26 years looking for this lost city, been lost for 3,000 years, rather like Sodom in the Bible, when we eventually found the lost city after 8 major Land Rover expeditions into this huge desert. Because we'd been looking for it so long, it was a memorable moment when we found it. Another one was when, after 7 years of preparation, getting sponsors together, 3 years permanent travel, we completed the first and only human journey around Earth vertically through both poles. 52,000 miles without flying 1 metre of the journey. 2 of us out of the 52, including the ship's crew, travelled every inch of the world from Greenwich down south, back over the top and back to Greenwich again. Never repeated. My colleague, unfortunately, has since died, so I'm the only human being on Earth ever to have walked vertically around Earth, or travelled vertically around Earth. So that one, the day we arrived, my wife and I together had spent 20 years of our lives preparing for it and doing it.
What are your opinions on climate change? I mean, obviously it's such a hot topic issue, and what do you think needs to be done?
Well, every newspaper that you read will sooner or later talk about climatic change, and we all know about climatic change. But in terms of the scientists that I take on my expeditions, and normally we take scientists out to remote areas, on our ship, if we've got one going to Antarctica, why not let the scientists go there and do their bit? Well, in Antarctica, you have got a mile of ice, like a tablecloth, on top of 10,000 foot high mountains. So, okay, the ice might be getting less and less, but you can't see it.
And joining me is Richard Morris. Hello. You met Sir Ranulph Fiennes. What was he like?
I did. He was a very, very interesting man to speak to. I mean, I kind of presumed that he would be anyway, obviously given his life experience and the kind of things that he's, done in the past. But he was he has a kind of presence in a room. So when he walked into the interview room, obviously to speak to us, and we had the camera crew there and everything else, everyone just kind of fell silent, and we were just listening to him. Because, even after the cameras had stopped, he still continued telling me anecdotes and that kind of thing. He's just a really, really fascinating man.
Obviously, we've only seen a short excerpt from the interview, but you've done a longer interview that we're going to show at a later date.
Yes, so the total interview is about 15 minutes, and we cover all kinds of interviews from, cover all kind of issues from climate change to what he thinks about Grimsby and the local area, all very positive things, and just a multitude of different things that we talked about with him. So he just sat and just talked, but was by far the most natural interviewee probably we've maybe ever had. He just sat and talked about his life experience.
Day 3, of course, of the World Seafood. The last day, isn't it?
The last day, yes.
How has it gone so far for you?
It's been really, really fine, actually. It's been great. I mean, obviously, we've just wrapped up the final show. Viewers of the last half hour will be aware that we're sort of come to a close now.
Yeah.
But I mean, it seems to be really engaging. All the delegates have absolutely loved it. They've all said how fascinating it is, and the networking opportunities that they've had in terms of what's been going on. They've just loved it. Yeah.
That's good, isn't it? And I hope you've learned a lot more about upskilling and sustainability.
Yes, and trade. I know
Trade.
loads now about those 3 different things. And I've also learned that upskilling is a word. Because I didn't think that it was.
You've made it up. I did watch your interview last night talking about upskilling,
Yeah,
where you got
yeah.
them to define it for you.
Yeah, well, now I actually know, and I know that it's a real thing, because I thought it was like one of these made-up words. I still think it is one of these made-up words, but it has a
People do.
Well, no, because people do make up words, don't they?
I make up lots of words, yes,
Yes,
I
you do. I sit opposite you in the office, and yes, you do.
So, World Seafood Conference, at the end, and it's been very positive, so that is a good thing, isn't it, for the whole town?
And I mean, lots of people have said, you know, actually they're thrilled that it is in Grimsby, you know, even sort of American delegates and Australian delegates, they're all saying, oh, it's great that it's in Grimsby, you know, sort of one of the premier fish processing places in Europe, really, so they're just thrilled.
That's it, and next year...
Next year? No, it's year after, 2017.
Year after, they're in Iceland, is it? Reykjavik?
I think they are in Reykjavik.
I think they are, aren't they?
Might want to research that, but I'm sure.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Right, well, thank you very much for that, Richard. Now it's time for the sport.
According to national reports, Hull City midfielder Jake Livermore is to escape a drugs ban. The midfielder tested positive for cocaine in April, but the FA say that extenuating circumstances surrounding his child's death mean he will not receive a ban. It's now being reported that Livermore will be receiving a suspended sentence. Hull Ionians beat Hartpury College 37-32 at Brattingham Park over the weekend. The try scorers were Alex Crockett, Akil Smith, Mike Bateman and Alex Campbell. It was a good start to win a match against a side who finished 5th in National 1 last season. This Saturday, the team are travelling to London to face Richmond Lions. Ticton's Carl Edmund has been named in the Great Britain squad to face Australia in the Davis Cup semi-final next weekend. Edmund joins Andy and Jamie Murray, James Ward and Dominic Inglot at the Emirates Arena in Glasgow for a place in the final at the end of November. Edmund is currently ranked 103rd in the world and is expected to battle it out with James Ward, who hasn't won a match since Wimbledon. The Australians have selected Leighton Hewitt, Sam Groth and Bernard Tomic, among others, who are looking to win their 29th Davis Cup success. Great Britain's 9th and last win was in 1936. That's all from me for now, and if you have any sports news for us, then please email us on sport@estuary.tv. Give us a call on Grimsby 01472 31553, or you can find us on Twitter or Facebook. Bye for now.
That's it tonight. If you have a story for us, visit our Facebook or Twitter pages, email news@estuary.tv or phone 01472 315 553. Good night.
Estuary TV weather, sponsored by Grimsby Institute for a brighter future.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. Thursday, early cloud lifting, a fine and dry day with a good deal of sunshine afterwards, feeling warmer with highs of 20 degrees Celsius. Friday will be warm with some sunny spells.
Estuary TV weather, sponsored by Grimsby Institute for a brighter future.